Ilya and Shane got outed by a friend. And the worst part, it wasn't supposed to happen like this. Hey Anna, you know what? So this has happened. And there is no way back. After Shane proposed to Ilya, they had a plan. They were going to come out to the world that summer on their terms, but that's not what happened. Because when Shane and Ilya were visiting Hayden's family to show them Anya, Ilya's dog, Hayden was filming a video for a fan service. He finished it and sent it to a fan, and the next day, the internet exploded because in the background of that video, everybody could see Ilya and Shane passionately making out. So the world got to know. Shane was shocked. He couldn't breathe. He almost had a panic attack. He didn't know how to react to this. He was choking on rage and fear, humiliation. Everything he feared happened. And there was no way to take it back. Once it's out on the internet, there is no way. Yes, they were planning to come out that summer, but on their terms. And now it's just out there. After 11 years of hiding, they were discovered like that. Shane was worried Ilya might punch Hayden, but Ilya, he looked surprisingly calm. He even said it's okay. Hayden's been a good friend, keeping their secret for so long. And Ilya wasn't thinking about himself at that moment. He was worried about Shane. And because, as we know, the truth is, Ilya wanted to tell the world a long time ago, and he didn't because of Shane. And then playoffs started, and their teams were about to play against each other. And Shane was like, how are we going to do it? Be on the ice, compete against each other when everybody knows? They tried not to think about it for now, act like everything was normal. They went to practice, but Ilya's coach met him at his house, and Ilya was like, oh, what's gonna happen? But I'm ready, what's gonna happen, I'm ready. But his coach was actually very nice. He said he was sorry that Ilya and Shane were out this way, and then he asked him, was it serious? Him and Hollander? Ilya asked back, you mean, was it a joke? And the coach just said, no way, a kiss like this was a joke. We need to see that kiss in the show, guys. So the coach clarified, is it a serious relationship? And Ilya just said quietly, I love him. There was a long pause. And then coach said, I'd say that feeling is mutual, based on that video. And Ilya replied, it's very much mutual. Ilya's coach was kind. He said he was on Ilya's side, but then he told him something else, that the commissioner, Crowell, had already made a decision that both Ilya and Shane were going to be benched for a while until he dealt with it, whatever that meant. But no matter what, his coach said he would support him because he had been there. He had fallen for a teammate once too, we discovered, and it didn't end well, so he understands what Ilya is going through. So Ilya got his full support. For Shane, it didn't go this way. His team turned backs on him. When he walked in the change rooms that day after the news broke, everyone was staring at him with obvious disgust. Can you believe it? He worked so hard for this team for years, and now the man he loved like brothers gave him a cold shoulder. He felt sick. The only friendly face was Hayden, but everyone else, they turned away. And then even more, his coach called him in, and unlike Ilya's meeting with his coach, there was no warmth, just cold, sharp questions. Was it a joke? How long was it? And Shane had a choice. He could have taken an easy way out. He could have said, it's nothing, just first time. But he didn't. He chose the harder truth. He said they've been dating for years, and of course his coach had no sympathy. He sent Shane home. He said both him and Rozanov were benched, Crowell's order, until it gets dealt with. They're sitting, and when Shane was picking up his jacket, he didn't even want to do this, but his car keys were in the pocket. His teammates were staring again. He tried to talk to them, but they were cold and even hateful. And Shane almost cried. He expected more from them. 10 years they trained together, fought together, chased the same dreams. They were brothers to him, or at least he thought they were. And that's so unfair. It's your personal life. Why should anyone care? Well, it's beautiful though. Shane and Ilya kept supporting each other through all of it, but Shane was breaking. Hockey and Montreal team was such a huge part of his life, and he got rejected. He was so upset with his team, so he did one thing that may seem like small, but for him it was like huge. It was like everything. He got off his diet. Yeah, I forgot to tell you, this whole book, Shane was on a diet. He didn't call it a diet, more like a nutrition plan to improve and maintain his agility so he can be a better hockey player. So no carbs, no cookies, no dairy, only healthy stuff. And it caused so many small and big conflicts between him and Ilya. Ilya was, complaining that Shane wasn't fun to cook for anymore. Shane would say out loud, he didn't want any chocolates or cookies. When, in reality, he admitted to himself he was dying to eat a cookie. But he stayed on that diet nutrition plan. Honestly, I don't think it was just about improving his athletic performance. I think it was more about keeping things under control. When everything else in his life felt so unstable, his relationship and future with Ilya, there was one thing he could control. And also I thought maybe it was a way to make up for his flaw. I think maybe he felt that he was letting his team down because of his relationship with Ilya. So, to compensate and maybe even punish himself, he was on a strict diet. It's just my thoughts. I may be completely wrong, but I just felt that maybe it's like this. On one hand, to feel that he controls something and maybe to get slightly better for his team, for his boys. And on the other hand, maybe it really was about punishment. Although I think it was mostly, to have something under control. Although for himself, he was explaining it, to get better for the team, for the boys. And then these boys betrayed him. Yeah. So he ate a Snickers bar and he told Ilya. Ilya wasn't gloating about it, didn't tease him because he understood. It just showed how disappointed Shane was. He knew that eating a candy was hitting rock bottom for Shane. And then it gets more intense. NHL started to respond. Shane and Ilya were called to the office of NHL Commissioner Crowell. Yeah, the same man they fought before. And the moment they walked in, you could feel it. The hostility. Crowell didn't even try to hide it. He said the league was embarrassed and that this was a problem. And then Crowell offered them a way out. He said the league prepared a statement that it was all a joke, a prank on Hayden, that it meant nothing. Ilya tensed up immediately because he knew if Shane wanted this, he would go along with it for Shane. But deep inside, everything inside of him was burning. He didn't want to go back to hiding. But what's good, Shane already changed by that time. After Ilya almost died in that plane crash, he made a decision. He decided to be with Ilya now, no matter what. So even though he was terrified of what's coming now, that they are outed not by themselves but by accident, he didn't back down. He changed his mind for good. So while Ilya stayed quiet, waiting for what Shane would say, Shane stood up to the Commissioner Crowell saying, "No, we're not calling it a prank. We're telling the truth. We will confirm everything. And even more, we are getting married in the summer." Commissioner was shocked. It looked like he didn't have any words to say. But then he got back together and he snapped, saying this isn't happening, not if they want to stay in the league. But Shane didn't back down. He kept fighting. And Ilya was like, watching, what's going on? Shane said if they were kicked out, they would sue the league. And you know, it makes a lot of sense. There is nothing in their contract saying that the league gets to control their personal lives, right? Or fire them because of it. Kroll still tried to scare them, said that after this scandal, no team would ever want them and their careers would be over. But Shane fired back. They'll do as they planned, not like they were rookies who didn't know their worth in this league. Thanks to Ilya for boosting Shane's confidence in that trophy room. But Kroll said they had worth, but now they were ruining their brand. And that's when Ilya finally spoke. He said, "No, we're making it stronger." Then Shane stood up, looked at Ilya, and said, "I choose him." And they're like, "Come on, Ilya, let's go. You know, like a wifey, we're not here, let's go." And Ilya, he was stunned, because in that moment, Shane chose him over hockey. He thought he would never ask that of Shane, but Shane had done it anyway, hadn't even hesitated. Well, near-death experience helps to reconsider priorities, right? Sometimes it takes almost losing everything to understand what really matters. Later, they posted a statement on Instagram saying that they are together. They attached some pictures, and to Shane's surprise, most of the comments were positive. And for the first time, Shane thought maybe everything would be all right. But here is the thing. They didn't just get outed, right? They lost control, privacy, they lost their version of the story they wanted to tell the world, and still they choose each other. Like our Shane, who spent years trying to be perfect, to be strong for his team, to control everything, he chose the one thing he was always afraid to lose. And our Ilya, who was ready to burn everything down for the truth, finally didn't have to hide it anymore. Because in the end, for them, it was never about the league or the hockey or what people would say. It was always about when everything falls apart, who do you choose? And Shane answered, "I choose you." And that changed everything.